Good morning, students. As you have asked in the Zoom meeting to summarize the first chapter, I am going to give the summary of the first chapter now. Okay, so if you memorized all these results, notes, and the method, what method we have to apply for the linear equations to solve, it will be very easier for you to revise after completing chapter 1. So, after completing chapter 1, you can summarize all these points. So, it will be very useful while you are going for the test. Okay, let us start with at J is equal to Aij the whole transpose, where Aij is minus 1 whole power I plus j into Mij. Mij is nothing but minor of the matrix. Number 2, A inverse. A inverse 1 by determinant A into Aj. Number 3, determinant of Ka is equal to K power n into determinant A. 4. Adj of Ka is equal to K power n minus 1 into Aj. Number 5. Aj into determinant A is equal to determinant A into Aj is equal to determinant A into In, where n is the number of order of the matrix. Okay. Now let us go with sixth one. A inverse, determinant of A inverse is equal to 1 by determinant of A. If A is non-singular. What is mean by non-singular? Determinant A is not equal to 0. Isn't it? Determinant A equal to 0 means it is singular. Okay. Now seventh one. A transpose the whole inverse is equal to A inverse the whole transpose. Eighth one. Lambda A the whole inverse is equal to 1 by lambda into A inverse. Okay. Ninth one. Left cancellation law. That is AB equal to AC. That implies cancelling A in the left side, we are getting B equal to C. Similarly, you can write right cancellation law. Right cancellation law is BA is equal to CA. That implies B is equal to C. So, similar you can write right cancellation also. So, right cancellation, I will write it in the bracket. BA is equal to CA. That implies B is equal to C. So, this is right cancellation law. Okay. Now, let us go with next one. If A and B are non-singular of order n, then AB is also non-singular. We can write AB the whole inverse is equal to B inverse A inverse, reverse of the inverses. Next 11th one, law of double inverse. Double inverse, A inverse the whole inverse is equal to A. 12th one, Aj the whole inverse is equal to Aj A inverse is equal to 1 by determinant A into A. 13th one, determinant of Aj A is equal to determinant of A to the power of n minus 1. 14, Aj of Aj is equal to determinant of A to the power n minus 2 into A. 15th one, determinant of Aj is equal to determinant of A whole to the power n minus 1 the whole square. These are all the theorems you have in your book. We will prove it later. Number 16, Aj the whole transpose is equal to Aj of A transpose. 17th one, determinant of A is equal to plus or minus root of determinant of Aj. Next, 18th one, A inverse is equal to plus or minus 1 by root of determinant of Aj. 19th, Aj into Aj. 19th one, A is equal to plus or minus 1 by root of determinant of Aj into Aj of Aj. Into Aj of Aj. 20th one, Aj of AB is equal to Aj B into Aj. Aj B into Aj. So next 21, if A is 21, A is of order n by n is orthogonal if A into A transpose is equal to A transpose into A is equal to I. So if you need to prove that the given matrix is orthogonal, it is enough to prove that A into A transpose is equal to I. Again, here itself we can say A is orthogonal. A is orthogonal if and only if A not equal to 0 and A inverse is equal to A transpose. Determinant A not equal to 0 and A inverse is not equal to A transpose. Next 23, rank of matrix A is the largest order of non-zero minor of A. Okay. Rank of zero matrix is 0. Rank of zero matrix is 0. 25. Rank of identity matrix of order n is n. 26. If A is a matrix m by n, then rank of A is equal to less than or equal to minimum of m comma n. Next, Gauss-Jordan method. It is helped to use Gauss-Jordan method. It is helps to find the inverse. Gauss-Jordan method helps to find the inverse. You have to start the matrix with AI and bring the matrix in the form of I A inverse. So you can find out the inverse by using Gauss-Jordan method in this case. Okay. Next one, 27. How to find out the rank? 28. Rank. Rank can be find out by two methods. One is minor method, another one is echelon form, row echelon form method. Minor method. This one is row echelon form method. Row echelon form. By reducing row reduction form. So rank can be find out by minor method and row echelon form method. This is row reduction method. Okay, row reduction method. Next one is 29. Consistency of system of linear equations. Linear equations. We can say that one thing is consistent. Consistent means it gives two ways. One is unique solution, or it may has infinitely many solution. Another one is inconsistent. Inconsistent means the only one case, that is it has no solution. No solution. Okay. Next is solving system of linear equations. Solving system of linear equations. So it can be done by using three methods. One is matrix inversion method. Matrix inversion method. X is equal to A inverse B. Second one is Grammar's rule. Grammar's rule. By taking x is equal to delta x by delta y is equal to delta y by delta. If you are having z, you can go with one more thing. Z is equal to. Last one is Gaussian elimination method. Gaussian elimination method. So Gaussian elimination method is reduced to row echelon form and use back substitution method. Reduced to row echelon form and use back substitution method. and use back substitution method. You can write here also z is equal to delta z by delta. Okay. So we for solving the system of linear equations, we are using three types. One is matrix inversion, second one is Cramer's rule, third one is Gaussian elimination method. So by solving these three, we can by using these three, we can solve the given system of linear equations. Okay. Next, non-homogeneous linear equations by rank method. Solving non-homogeneous. What is mean by non-homogeneous? If it has a constant other than the variables, it is said to be non-homogeneous method, a non-homogeneous equation. So it is used by rank method. Solving non-homogeneous system of equations using rank method. Again, it has two cases. One is consistent, another one is inconsistent. Consistent two cases, unique, another one is infinitely many solution. So unique means row of A is equal to row of A bar B equal to n, where n is the number of solutions. Here row of A is equal to row of A bar B is less than n. So consistent, it must have solution. So it will be this. So for consistent, we can say always row of A is equal to row of A bar B. So that is consistent. Okay. Next one, inconsistent, no solution. Inconsistent, no solution. What is the condition for no solution? Row of A is not equal to row of A bar B. For consistent, row of A is equal to row of A bar B. For infinitely many solution, here two conditions are there. If n is equal to 2, one parameter will be applied. Family of solution. If n is equal to 1, two parameters will be applied. Two parameters will be applied. Okay. The last one we are going to see with homogeneous linear equations. Solving homogeneous linear equations. Solving homogeneous linear equation. It is always consistent. This is always consistent. It is a very important 1-mark question. Homogeneous equations is always consistent, and you can give solution for this homogeneous solution in two cases. One is trivial, unique solution, that is trivial solution. Unique trivial solution. So how to get unique trivial solution? Row of A is equal to row of A bar B equal to n. Here determinant of A is not equal to 0. We can use this also. For non-trivial, infinitely many solution, row of A is equal to row of A bar B equal to n. Here determinant A will be equal to 0. So this is the summary of less than n. Okay, this is the summary and the concept you need for chapter 1. So after revising, after finishing with chapter 1, you can revise all these points to remember what steps we have to apply, what method we have to apply, how to do the problem. It is very easier finally when you are revising all these points. Okay. Thank you, students.